Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of Detroit Lions Talk, Lunchtime with Detroit Lions. It's brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl. We had breaking news yesterday, but kind of wanted to wait for everything to settle out. I wanted to, get everybody's take and kind of get what I was thinking about it and digest everything. So we decided to do it this morning instead of a quick hitter thing yesterday. So we're going to go into the firing of Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. We're going to go into the former players' reactions to the firing, our takes on this, and the question of the day, and all that stuff coming your way in just a bit. But first, let me bring in my co-host here, the man of steel himself, Kurt Steele.
Hey, what up, though? It is a great day to be alive. It's a good day, One Pride. Ding dong, they're finally gone. It's the firing of Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. Hey, as always, we love it. We love it when you comment. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching our videos. If you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button. Ring that notification bell when you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Man, let's just go ahead and get this thing started right now. Hey, welcome back to the show. It's time to get this thing started. You know what we got to get out these comment cards. Jim, you up first.
I'm up first. We got Agent Friday. That's a cool name. I like that. That's from it's from a TV show from a long time ago, and I can't remember what it is, but I can't remember. It's a long time ago, but Agent Friday. You guys are my favorite Lions YouTubers. Well, thank you very much. Great analysis and grasp of where this organization is currently. The crapper. Most Lions fans have little faith that the ownership is going to nail the next hire at coach, and hopefully GM. We will see. Yeah, we shall see. We'll see.
That is a definitely we will see take. Definitely, I definitely like that. And thanks, man. We appreciate you. Being your favorite Lions YouTubers, man. Hey, we appreciate your comment, man. Thank you. We appreciate the compliment. Thomas Donner. My man said, I say break the bank and bring back the guy who started it all, Bill B himself, $10 million a year for 5 years. Tom, yeah, no. I don't want Bill. I don't want no parts of the Patriots in Detroit anymore.
And I don't think he'd go.
No, man, he's built a legacy in New England. They're going to be rebuilding themselves because he's going to have to rebuild everything from that roster. I think that their season now, and this is kind of off the topic, this season right now shows you how much Tom Brady was a part of that winning organization.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because, and I said at the beginning, we're going to see which side is actually the side that was the genius side. It's kind of looking like Tom Brady, but you gotta look at it this way. They really don't have a great quarterback there anymore, and it's predicated on the quarterback position.
A lot of guys opted out too, so
yeah. That's true too. Forgot about that in the beginning of the year. That's a really good point. Very good point, Kurt. All right, we got Troy Thibodeau in the building, and he says, I like the fourth and short run the ball with the fullback with an 8th overall pick and a $30 million quarterback on the field. And not only is he a fullback, he's a former linebacker. So, let's give him the ball. Good idea.
Hey, they all lace him up. They are if he's a fullback, he's expected to do fullback things. So if he'd made the first down, it wouldn't have been a problem. Our offensive line sucked on that play. Yeah. All right. Next up, Don Upham says get rid of Quinn and the head coach and all the staff, but not Stafford. Okay, but not Stafford. Yeah, you know what? They did. They got Quinn and the head coach.
But they did not get rid of all the staff.
Now, all the staff is you know what, though? You really can't do that. You not right now.
Not mid-season, you can't.
Nah, you can't do that.
I like Braden Coombs. I really hope they keep him. I really hope they do. I'd like to keep him in our organization.
Yeah, you can't get rid of the whole. But here coming up here in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks on Black Monday, we'll see what's gonna be going.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on then.
Yeah.
Skip Smith says, I started Thursday at age 55. By the end of the game, I was 73. I've been a lifelong Lions fan, and watching Patricia on the sidelines makes me sick. He was brought in by his buddy, and I'm hoping and praying that he and his buddy will be shown the door sometime this weekend. Skip, you got your wish, and I hope you're happy now because they got shown the door yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. Sean Brown says Davis can actually make plays if he's used correctly, but Patricia won't use him because it would take away from the very slow linebacking core of the former Patriot players. I feel Davis is being wasted on the Lions. We have said this plenty of times, Sean, that
we have
a lot of players on the Lions, and Davis is one of them, is playing out of position. So, yeah, we feel you. We're right there with you. And we don't have to worry about Patricia using them correctly anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot we're going to go into about that, too, just coming up. James I cannot pronounce your last name. Not even going to try it. I will continue to stand by my comment earlier this week. If they fire Patricia and Quinn, I will stop watching the Lions. I didn't stop watching them during the 0-16 season. In fact, I attended 3 of the games. If they continue to make the same mistake of getting rid of people after only a few years, I will stop watching. It is ridiculous to expect a team to do good in the middle of a slow rebuild. It is also ridiculous to expect anything except losses with the injury history of the past couple of years. I will stop watching if Sheila removes the current management. I couldn't completely disagree with you more. How long do you keep incompetence? How long do you keep people that not only are they losing, they are the 32nd ranked defense of this defensive guru and the person that's bringing in his players from New England? No way. It's got to go. I don't care. I don't think I can't get with you on this.
I get the take. I know organizations who have lasting some type of success don't really change coaches or staff like that every few years. But in this situation, I think you had to move on just because of the fact what Sheila Ford's Hamp said, the writing was on the wall. It just was not working. You just can't do that. You can't have your team. You can't do that to your fan base where you're just not. It's not working. You can just tell it.
You're not competitive.
You can feel it. I mean, you can look at, and it made it even worse. It stand out worse this year on the sidelines because there was no fans there. All you had to look at was the coaching staffs on the sidelines, and you can look at it and you can just see it wasn't working.
The other thing I think about that too, if there were fans, they'd be booing them out the building.
Oh man, that'd have been worse.
I think it would have been worse if the fans.
Yeah, Quinn would have been. I mean, Quinn and Patricia would have been gone sooner if there was fans there this year. I believe that. I believe that. And last but not least, our friend of the show,
the
Dr. Detroit himself. Give Sheila a minute. This lady has personally pained over this team longer than most of us. And it does bother the entire family. We need to recognize that this will be her first move. Do you want her to make another knee-jerk reaction? Would you want to have, would you have her be a bit more methodical? And she was. I think she was. I think she held it out probably as long as she probably could because they should have been fired a few weeks ago.
The decision was made Thanksgiving Day.
Yep, it was the last 2 games.
Players and announce it and get the head coach straight and all that stuff. So they had to announce it Saturday.
Yeah,
they had to get everything and all their ducks in a row first.
Yeah, they had meetings on Friday, after them because no one was allowed in Island Park on Friday. So they were probably doing that, probably sitting down with Quinn, Trisha, those guys, and was just hashing out everything and letting them know, like, hey, there's the door.
So let's get into the ramifications for this year. Okay, they fire Matt Patricia, they fire Bob Quinn. Darrell Bevell is now the interim head coach. My first take is we're going to finally see Corey Undland's defense because I think it was very much influenced by Matt Patricia. I want to see if the offense changes, because was that Matt Patricia or was that Darrell Bevel? There's a lot of questions to be answered. There's still some games left this season. Do you think the team improves because Patricia is gone, addition by subtraction? Do you think we see a different Lions team?
I'm not sure they'll be that much more successful this season. I have a tempered expectation for the last 5 games, just to be honest with you. But I think that you will see a rejuvenated, as far as maybe not the play, but their attitudes. You know?
Exactly.
I think their attitudes will be better.
I think so too. I think there's a real positive reaction here. I think there's a real chance that there's a positive ending to this season.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we only have 5 draft picks. And, whoever's going to come in and clean up this
they're going to have to work that. They're going to have to work some magic.
It's going to have to be like the Pistons did. Blow it up. Trade for draft picks. Do what you got to do. There's a lot of players that don't fit anywhere else.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't expect them to have a great season next season as well. I don't. I think
my expectations are very
for next
low
year,
for the next 3 years.
for next season. But I will say this: I just think that it will have the cloud of just disgust over the organization
is gone.
Is gone. I mean, if you just look at the way that Patricia conducted himself and the way that he just interacted with the media. I mean, it's just even like his first week in Detroit with the whole thing with the telling someone to sit up and come on, man, you a head coach, man. Who are you? Who are you to tell a member of the media to sit up?
We're gonna get into the former player reactions. I have one really interesting one that I was like, wow, when I read it. So we'll get to that in a minute. But I still think, what is the future for this team now?
Yeah, that's a good question. What do you think, man? What do you think as the Jim Stradamus? What do you think is the future of the team?
It's a difficult situation for me because I have the same people that hired Patricia and Quinn hiring the next guy. We have to get this right. It has to be right. And if it's right, blow it up. And I have faith that we could, in 4 or 5 years, become a Super Bowl contending team. But it's going to take 4 or 5 years. It's not going to be next year. We were 9-7. 9-7 isn't good enough. We don't have that anymore. They came in here and destroyed this team.
Oh man, they broke it down to the studs, baby. They ripped all the drywall out.
But I do want to say this: the Red Wings just did it. The Pistons just did it. The Tigers just did it. Pretty much. We have 3 teams in rebuild mode now, and we have just added a 4th. When can you remember all 4 teams been in rebuild mode?
I can't remember.
That is crazy.
Because there always was a good team. There was always one.
Yeah, at least one.
One. The Red Wings for many years. And then you look at the Pistons when they had their championship runs, and Tigers making an ALCS. I mean, it was.
Seemed like we always had one to root for.
One team to root for. Now we just like, okay, we're in a complete rebuild mode in the Motor City.
But I think there's this hope over all the other 3 teams that they're actually making the right moves. I know Steve Yzerman's making the right moves. Top 3 of the prospects are in the Red Wings organization. The Pistons blew it up, and it looks really good to me. I like what they did in the draft. I like some of the trades. They didn't get the value I wanted, but hey, whatever. This is a Lions show, so let's go back to the Detroit Lions. It's very interesting. I want your take on that too, about the whole thing.
I think that the ultimate really was a really vote of confidence that we're willing to they tore it down to the bare bones, and we're willing to go out and get a guy and stop the negative cloud over this organization and try to like rebuild it. You can see the pain on Sheila Ford's face at the game, even though her hands are on her face with the picture of the last thumbnail. That's somebody who cares. And, I just think that she had all she could stand and she couldn't stand no more. I think she was probably looking at, her, because still, I would say this, Martha Ford Firestone still has, a big influence over her and over the team. we know the final word is Sheila Ford Hamilton, but she still meets with her family and they make decisions as the Ford family. But I just think that she was just like, look, if I'm in charge, they have to make this decision, and it's time to let these guys go.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I think that if we make smart, wise, calculated decisions with the GM and the head coach, that the Lions can build a winner. I can say in the next 3 to 4 years, the Lions could be back in the playoffs and make us some moves.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There is a player comment out there that really struck me.
Okay, let's get to him, man, because there was some woo.
This is the one that really got me. Ashawn Robinson, when he says, told me you told me you'll take my career away from me.
I saw that.
I guess they have other plans for you. Did they actually tell him they were going to take his career away?
It doesn't surprise. If they did, it doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't.
This hearing some of the comments from certain former players and how that Patricia and conducted
Not that I
himself.
think Ashawn Robinson was the best player. I thought he was a little lazy here. There were things that I didn't like, but to tell someone you're going to take their career away from, to say something to Darius Slay like they did, But he also says you get what you deserve. I mean, it was.
You know what though? I think it was personal for him. You know what though? And I'll tell you this. I can tell the difference between Ashawn Robinson under Caldwell and then Ashawn Robinson under Patricia. There's a difference. I mean, for some of the players, you definitely could see a difference between, some guys are professional, they're gonna, but you can definitely see that, it was a personal thing for them, the way that Patricia treated those guys in the locker room. I mean, this is the way he came in. I mean, even though this year they said it was supposedly better and he was a different guy. Well, you can't come in the way you come in and lose. I mean, like, just lose historically. I mean,
I know.
I mean, you can't come in and you're supposed to have this championship pedigree, but you crap the bed as a head coach. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Go ahead with some of the comments.
It's and my man Big Play, because I always got a soft spot for my man Big Play. He said, I thought I was the problem. And you would like, this guy is a Pro Bowl, all pro type caliber. He's even though the Eagles aren't having a great season overall, he's having a really good season. You just don't let somebody like that caliber player. And we look at our secondary now. It's horrible.
It is. It's bad. I mean, it's really, really bad.
I'm like this. I would have rather have had Amani Arourier and Darius Slay out there on the corners than the guys that we got now.
Right. Yep. I do too. I thought Darius Slay was actually a decent player, but I mean, look at the people. I mean, even Travis Fulgham with the weird smiley emoji.
Yeah, real. I mean, but Stephen Tulloch, he was the first one out the gate. He was like, "Thank you." I was like, wow.
And then it was like, well, my boy Big Clay Slay tried to tell you all. He says, "I was the problem," though. Darius Slay responds. Another really interesting one to me was on Instagram. Okay, so breaking news: Chris Burke, Lions fire Matt Patricia. So that's the headline, right? Mm-hmm. So you look at it, and guess who likes this tweet?
Oh,
Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay. I was like, oh, man.
Now here's another take, because I know there's people out there that think that some of these players were just not wanting to play for Patricia, so they're on the injured report. Let's see how many people come back now that he's gone.
Man, you know what?
See if that's the truth or not.
You know what? I saw, and big shout out to him, man. Luke G for Luke G.
Yep.
Yeah, he posted that GIF yesterday of
Kevin Nash.
The Kevin Nash
getting out of the wheelchair.
Getting out of the wheelchair, talking about that's a Kenny Galladay. Now that Pat Patricia's gone, he's gonna get out the chair and like he's fine. It was there's some comical stuff out there. I like the Glover Quinn. it was shade, but it was classic. The two peace signs.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what can you say? I mean, he said it without saying it. I mean,
he said it without saying it.
yeah.
But
So
I think
yeah,
there
it
is a backlash. Okay, we've had coaches fired before,
yeah.
but I haven't seen the backlash that I've seen
No,
against this coach.
man, they can't stand that dude.
So maybe it's a thing of, and Sheila actually played this down a little bit, saying that, basically she was like, well, players are going to have their opinion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost not liking that comment because of the fact that, this is a different day and age, man. These are grown men, but you got to treat them like grown men. You can't treat them like children or put them down, do all this stuff. That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that type of the day and age of the tough head coach who's tough as nails and will cuss you out and talk about your mama. That's tough.
It works if you win.
Yeah,
you're gonna put in a lot of work and then lose because this guy's an idiot. Okay.
You can't have a pedigree. You can't come in and you think you have this pedigree and you don't. Like, that's the one thing that really bothered me about Patricia, is that he thought he had this championship pedigree, but really he really didn't. And like some of his defense weren't the best defenses when the Patriots won the Super Bowls. They rode the coattails of Tom Brady, now offense, into the Super Bowl and to the Super Bowl victories. So
I agree with that 100% too. My take is basically, in a nutshell, I'm glad they're gone. I'm worried about the next guy.
Yeah, it's going to be a stressful time for Lions fans, because we want someone who is going to be a leader of this team and come in and build a championship level program built on trust. She's going to have to rebuild the trust of the fan base, because we don't trust them right now to make this decision, because they just screwed it up with this last group so bad. I mean, and
in the beginning, I was actually for them. I'll put it out there. I was.
I mean, I put it like this. I was never a big fan of Patricia. And one thing that he did that really irritated me. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Roger Goodell. Don't get me lying. But when the Patriots won the Super Bowl and he had the Goodell shirt with the clown, I'm like, dude, you're a defensive coordinator. You're one of the leaders of the team. And this is the shirt that you wear. Disrespect, the commissioner coming out, coming home from the Super Bowl. Come on, man. This is we hired this guy. This is the guy we hired. Yeah, he's the one that's on the shirt now.
Right. There's shirts like that now. I bet you. But the other takeaway is there was people that were saying inside somebody had said that Bob Quinn was going to be safe and Patricia was going to be fired. That scared me to death. Yeah, I'm totally glad that they got rid of both of them. You had to get rid of both of them. Yeah, it was dumpster fire. You got to get rid of them. You had to, and again, Luke G said it to us before. He said you have to fire Quinn first. Yep. He said he was even cool with firing Quinn and leaving Patricia at the end of the season just because it would have been better. But you couldn't fire Patricia without firing Quinn. Absolutely, I agree with that. I think they were tied to the hip.
Yep.
Let's go into a little bit more of how much do we trust this ownership to get it right? Is Sheila different? I mean, Sheila fired him in midseason, but Mariucci was fired midseason. That's not a difference, in my opinion. I like the fact that she went out and she showed the emotion and she, and said she had enough, basically,
Yeah. I like that. That's the one thing that was good to hear, is like, it was just not working. Enough is enough. And it's his time to move on.
Do you trust them as an organization, as a family, to get the next hire right? They haven't done it since they've owned the team.
I think the one good hire that they had, they let go a little bit too soon.
Caldwell?
Caldwell. I think it let him go a little too soon. Do I think he was gonna be the coach that won it all? I still not convinced of that. But
I thought he had to go.
I don't think he should have left after that season, after 9-7.
I was thinking it was kind of like the Tampa Bay thing where they fired their coach and they brought in Chucky and whatever.
Oh, okay, with Dungy. But I just think that I think that with Caldwell, the players respected him, the community respected him, and it was one of those things. He treated the players like men.
He did.
And to have that and to treat men like men and professional football players, how he treated them, and to have someone come in and treat you like the drunk uncle that abuses everyone that's a big difference between those two. I mean, you can't coach old school.
Right. They said they're going to go to assistants. They said they're going to reach out to the league. That is the worst decision you could possibly make.
Yeah.
Do not reach out to this NFL. Do not reach out to the league. And
those guys are the worst ones to reach out to.
They're the ones that helped the Lions hire Bob Quinn in the first place.
I remember that.
And I'm telling you, they do not want us to win. They want to bring in the worst possible person for us. And I don't want the NFL anywhere near this search.
Nah.
Anywhere near it.
Nah, it's one of those things. You're going to have to hire the GM first, and they should be doing that extensively now. So pretty much at the end of the season, in the next 4 to 5 weeks, we should be having a new GM going into the offseason.
We're going to start talking about candidates for the GM job first. That starts tomorrow here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. We're going to go through a couple. We're going to go through about 2, maybe 3 a day, that type of thing. So just so you know what's coming up from content from us. And then we're going to go through some coaches. But the reason we go through the GMs first is because the GMs are going to be making the hire for the coach. So we can't, I guess the Fords could just put whatever coach they want in place, but that is not how it's done. You put the GM in here to run it. One interesting thing I thought Sheila was said is she was open to having a GM/coach to run the organization. I don't like this idea as much as some people do. Because, it's one voice, but with Stan Van Dumme, it really didn't work with the Pistons. Yeah. To be honest with you, I think it's too many hats. Unless you have a really good assistant.
I like a separation of duty. I like it.
I do too.
I do too. You got one guy. You got one guy coaching the team and one guy getting the players.
Yep. But they have to be on the same page.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And that's why you have the GM hire the coach.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, I agree with that. Unless you have the GM be the coach, which I'm not for that.
Nah.
Interesting take on Chris Spielman.
We're
going to go to that in a while, a while. So we'll get to that going on in a bit here. But what do you think? Do you think that we have the capability in Detroit to bring the right person in? Or do we have to survive another 5 years of torment?
Yeah, I think we can have. I think we have we put some feet to the. I mean, we have a different, sort of a little bit a difference in there in the administration right now with the ownership, where you have a different voice that's making the final decisions. So I think we can make some good decisions as long as they're calculated and educated. And that's what she seems to be. She seems to be calculated. Definitely. She takes her time to make sure that everything's going to be the way it needs to be. So I think that she's calculated. I think it's a little bit too, what do you call that, slow for some people. Some of the fan base. Some of the fan base was like, and I would say it was a little slow for me too. But you can definitely see that she's not afraid to make a decision, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. Here's what I want to see going forward for the rest of this year. Let's play some Logan Stenberg. Let's play some rookies. Let's play some of our draft picks and just see what they got. I mean, we've got old veterans on this team that, whatever. Let's play some Jared Davis, since the
man. So Vi got to go up, man. He has to be released.
Yeah,
he has to be released.
But no, he needs to move back to the inside.
He's back
not
to the
bad
inside
as an inside linebacker. He's terrible as an outside linebacker, but he is good. He was good last year. He got an interception. He forced fumbles. He had a fumble recovery in the last game. But I'm saying he's not a bad player. He's out of position. Tracy Walker, not a bad player, out of position.
A lot of players on the Lions out of position.
Not a good player right now.
Who was that?
Okudah.
Nah, he needs. Actually, I think he's playing out of position. I think he'd be a better safety.
I believe that too. I totally do. He doesn't have the speed to be a corner.
Nope.
In my opinion. And watch 5 years from now, he's like the best corner in the league, and I'm eating crow. But we'll see how it goes.
But I've always brought this up. Charles Woodson was one of the great NFL safety.
Example. Very
good at safety. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I think that this time we get to see. I'm excited to see the games again.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the same old thing. I'm excited to see, is this Corey Unland's defense now?
Mm-hmm.
What's the differences that he's going to put in there now?
I'd rather see him.
Were tied before.
I'd rather see him playing a good 4-3 with
too.
some blitzes, some good aggressive defense up front.
I want to see who comes off the injury list.
Yep.
That's another thing I want to see. Julian Okwara should be off the injury list.
Yeah, you have a lot of people on that. You got some people on the IR that's like the IR list is pretty long, so you get some people that man.
So we could start getting some players back.
Yeah.
Daryl Bevell, was his hands tied by Patricia?
That's going to be a thing too.
Was his hands tied by Patricia and he wasn't playing the offense that he wanted to play? Because this is an aberration for me. I've watched Daryl Bevell for a long time, and I was a big supporter of his. And this doesn't look like his offense at all.
Nah, it doesn't. That wasn't the offense he had in Seattle at all.
So that's what
even in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Even in Minnesota.
We play the Bears next. And they suck. They suck. Okay, they don't really have a quarterback.
Yeah,
they're trying out Trubisky again this week.
Their record is not indicative of the team that they are.
Oh, it's getting there. I think they're only 5-4 now or something.
Yeah, they're going backwards. They should be They'll be 500 after today's game.
They'll be 500 after the next game. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Some rumblings from around the league. I have to mention this because I thought it was hilarious. Denver has no quarterbacks going into this game because they're all out with a contact from a coronavirus person, a person that had the virus. So all of their quarterbacks are out. They have promoted a wide receiver from the practice squad to be their quarterback.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He hadn't thrown a pass since college. I mean that.
Right.
Yeah.
I would tune into that game just to see what the heck happened.
Look at that. Ravens. They got like 40% of their active roster is on the COVID list. 18 players.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
So we need to watch that too.
Yeah.
But sum it all up. I love the move. I'm in fear of the next move.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Understandable. I feel you. But the bad day was off. I'll tell you this, and I was talking to another friend of the show, Andy from over there at We Are Lions Nation. And he asked me, he hit me up. Oh, they're finally fired. I didn't ask him till like an hour later. I took a nap. I just think about it was so stressful that I just relaxed after they got fired. Like it was like,
it's that exhale afterwards. I totally agree with that. But now I'm going to go to my favorite segment of the whole show.
The dessert
with my man Kurt.
Man, the dessert today's come from one Mr. Lions legend himself, the big receiver before we got Calvin Johnson,
84.
Mr. Herman Moore, number 84 in your programs. He had a very good take on Chris Spielman. This guy, he was out there politicking for him to be the next general manager. And that's one of the names that we really looked at. But he said that Spielman was passionate. He knows the players. He knows the city. And he knows the organization. And there's not a lot of candidates out there that you can say that about the next GM for the Lions. And he said that Chris didn't ask him to speak on his behalf. And he said, sorry, Chris, I'm doing this. But he said, but this is the person that I see that would be a great fit for the next Lions general manager. I have to agree with that.
And I got to disagree. I don't like it because he has no experience.
Yes.
And that's the problem. I mean, is he a good talent evaluator? I don't know that. Does he know the playbook? Does he know football? He knows football.
He knows football and he knows player.
Going on again.
But that's one thing he did brought up. He said, he said the Matt Millen, he said that's not the same. That's not the same deal.
We'll see.
And the one thing that, I would say this, I don't think his brother would help him pick players for the Lions, but I think his brother would help him learn the business of being a GM because they're brothers and you don't throw your brother away like that.
I would bring both of them in. but
Yeah.
that's just my
But that's my go out there on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, and watch Herman Moore's take on Chris Spielman.
It's very good.
The much love that he shows his former teammate is excellent. So,
okay, so we got the question of the day at the end of this show, and do you trust Sheila Ford Sheila Hamp Ford, whatever it is,
Sheila Ford Hamp.
to make the right hire this time? What do you guys think? I am skeptical because we have had 50 some odd years of rebuilding, and I don't know why this would be any different. I just don't. I don't see the difference. But I hope you guys do. I hope you guys have that positivity and can bring us that in the comment section below. But I'm gonna end it with this. I really believe that there is hope in Detroit. I do. I think there's hope in all of the four major sports right now. We're going to watch young rookies, young people come into this organization. We're going to see a lot of tearing down of the old and a lot of building of the new. And I'm excited for that. But on the other hand, I have a little bit of fear, a little bit of trepidation about, are they going to pick the right guy this time? But that's my take. And to take us home, let's return it over to Kurt.
Hey, it is time to end the show. But you know what? Our last video was bananas. Yeah. We really appreciate all the views, all your comments, all your likes, and even for the haters, thanks for the dislikes. We're doing our job. Because you know what? You ain't doing your job right until you have some haters. So we appreciate the hate, but we really love the love. So you know what you need to do. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. And you know what else you need to do? Share it with your friends. Share it with the other Lions fans that you know. Because, you watching and commenting and liking, especially down to the end, helps our YouTube algorithm, gets this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. But if you do us a favor, just share it. Share it on your social media accounts, because we like to share our content with as many Lions fans that we can at any given time. But Matt, Patricia, and Bob, Quinn, hey, take it easy, brothers. Pick your head up. You're going to do all right, just not in Detroit.
Yep.
And whatever you do in life, you know what you got to do. You got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For man Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.